Hello, fellow members of the Midnight Society. Welcome to a special episode of my recap and review show where I'm going to be venturing outside of Are You Afraid of the Dark to review the Fear Street Trilogy of films on Netflix. Now, this will be more review and less recap since it's going to be spoiler-free, but there will be a spoiler section at the end for those that have already seen the films. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this the Tale of the Gory Goosebumps. The Fear Street Trilogy is 3 movies directed and co-written by Lee Janiak. I apologize if I slaughtered that last name. I tried to figure out how it was pronounced, but was unable to do so. I watched maybe 20 different interviews with this director, hoping and praying that somebody would start their interview off by introducing her fully and thus saying the name. And nobody did. Half of them were like, "Hey Lee," like they were best buds, and then the other half just skipped introductions altogether, just went straight for the questions. So, where's the professionalism gone, interviewers? Also, now I've forgotten why I'm here. The films are based on the Fear Street books written by Goosebumps creator R.L. Stine, or Randolph Linda Stine. I don't think that's correct. While Stine is mostly known for Goosebumps, the Fear Street books actually started publication 3 years prior to those, and were written for a slightly older audience. I only read a few of the Fear Street books back in the day, of which there are now more than 100, not all of which were written by Stine, and I mean, that makes sense. The man needs to sleep sometime, lest he turn into one of his own monsters.
Hello, I'm R.L. Stine.
While the plot of the films doesn't borrow exactly from the Fear Street books, it does use elements from them, especially the later books like Ghosts of Fear Street and the Fear Street sagas. The location setting of Shadyside is right out of the novels, as well as characters featuring the last names of Good or Fear, the latter being spelled a couple of different ways. Wait. F-I-E-R? That's not pronounced fear. No. That's a pronunciation spread by the family itself because they didn't like the way their original name sounded.
My name, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
The 3 films were shot back-to-back and released over a 3-week period in July of 2021 on Netflix, beginning with Fear Street Part 1, 1994, followed by Fear Street Part 2, 1978, and ending with Fear Street Part 3, wait, hold on, let me guess. Based on the pattern, we get 1962. Nope. The internet is telling me that I'm wrong. It's 1666. Well, that escalated quickly. The films follow a group of teens trying to break a curse that's been plaguing the town of Shadyside. The first film has multiple horror themes, but strongly pulls from 90s slasher films, such as Scream, while the second film is strongly influenced by 70s slasher films, such as Friday the 13th. And if we're following the pattern, that leaves the third film to pull from slasher films of the 1660s. Wait, there were no movies in 1666. The third film is more of a historical drama with supernatural elements and themes of persecution mirroring the Salem witch trials of 1692. That's a lot more weighty than sex-crazed camp counselors getting axed by a madman, but okay. The age range of our young cast is all over the place, with actors ranging from 19 to 29, though they're all supposed to be playing high schoolers of a similar age range. And, I mean, they pull it off for the most part, and there's certainly nothing juvenile about anyone's acting ability here. Everyone puts in solid performances across all 3 films. I did find the main characters rather unlikable in the first half of the first movie, but that's not on the actors, that's part of the story. There was also some questionable accents in the third film, but I mean, nobody was awful. It's not like anyone was Keanu Reeves again or anything.
I know where the bastard sleeps. I brought him there.
That being said, the writing isn't bad either. Each film nails the theme it's paying homage to and tells a coherent story across the trilogy, but I also think that's a drawback to the films individually. While the filmmakers take care to give a climactic resolution to each film, they still don't end in a way that makes them satisfying if you don't see all 3. In fact, due to the overarching story, I think a TV show format would have better suited the material. As it is, they mention certain things in the world building that would have been cool to see, but we just don't.
What a crazy idea.
How were the scares? Well, they were more gory than scary. In fact, it does make me wonder who the target audience for this film was. It seems way too graphic for your standard Goosebumps or Fear Street aged crowd, and I mean, even adults who read Fear Street when they were younger would probably watch this and think, this is not the Fear Street that I remember. I didn't personally have an issue with the gore, which, in fairness, is still tame when compared to something like, say, the Saw franchise. There was one scare tactic that they just loved using over and over. Hold on. Did anyone else hear that? Huh. Could have swore I heard something. Anyway, I forgot why I was here again. Overall, I enjoyed the trilogy. Each film feels unique enough that even when they rehash certain story beats, it doesn't feel like you're caught in a time loop, though each film did manage to feel like its nearly 2-hour runtime. I don't regret seeing the films, but I don't see the need to rewatch them ever either. If you're a fan of the horror genre, I'd say give them a go, even if you've never visited Fear Street before. The Fear Street Trilogy meets the approval of the Midnight Society. What a weird statement to make.
Was that okay? You were a little stiff.
Okay, the time has come for spoilers. There won't be many, but some of my issues with the films cannot be mentioned without spoilers. If you don't want anything ruined, tune out now. Okay, here we go. Wait. Okay, I know I heard something that time. The things I'm going to mention are minor grievances and fall into classic horror tropes, so they don't ruin the viewing experience at all, but I have to talk about them. In the first film, they figure out that the killers that are coming after them are actually coming after one person, and they're drawn to the blood of that target. So while trying to help the target die to remove the curse, they smear themselves in her blood to draw the monsters away, which results in a couple of them getting killed. Why was that the plan? Sure, drench some clothing in blood, but put those clothes elsewhere and not on your person. Or, here's a thought, stay mobile. Right? They've stolen this ambulance for most of the film, just stay in it and stay moving. And if the creatures show up, you've got a large vehicle to run them over with. In the second film, while I enjoyed seeing how one of the supernatural killers came to be, the main problem with this movie is that I just didn't care about any of the characters because I already knew who lived and who died. We're told at the very start of the film that Christine's sister dies at camp, so thanks for spoiling that. And we know that Christine lives since she's the one telling us the story. There had to have been a better way to do this. The third film retreaded a lot of what was covered in the first film, dealing with the taboo relationship between our main characters Dina and Samantha, but used the backdrop of a superstitious time to tell a very sad story. I actually feel like they tell that story very well. The history of witchcraft is a tragic one, and they don't shy away from it. In fact, if you're interested in that sort of topic, I did a video on the history of witchcraft that you may find enlightening. You can find the link in the description below. What pulled me out of the story being told was the choice to reuse all the cast from the other two movies in the 1666 sequence. I understand using Dina as Sarah Fear because she's the one seeing the events through magic, but seeing the rest of the town made up of familiar faces, I was getting some Back to the Future flashbacks, and not the good kind. I also wish we could have spent more time with Pastor Cyrus Miller and see his descent into madness. In fact, I wish we could have spent more time with all the possessed killers in their own time periods, which is why I think this would have worked better as a series.
Come back from that, mother...
What did you all think of the Fear Street Trilogy? Did you read the books when you were younger? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out the latest episode of the regular show recapping and reviewing The Tale of the Hatching, which is out now. Until next time, are you afraid of the dark?
Cool.
Yep, cool. Cool.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a share. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified when more Midnight Society episodes go up. And we've got some other cool nostalgic shows on the channel, so stick around. You might find something else that you like.